It is just after our final year project. My college mates and I gave it our all in our final exhibitions. The exhibitions went well, and we agreed to go for a drink after the event. We had a very late gathering with my friends in a bar outside of a shopping mall, celebrating the success of the event. We parked our cars inside the mall, then walked to the bar just outside of the mall. After the gathering ended, it's already around 2 o'clock in the morning. I drank to my heart's content, and I felt a little bit dizzy. After the party ended, I had some female friends who were quite drunk too. Although I am drunk, I think it's my responsibility as a male friend to walk them safely to their cars to ensure their safety. So I did walk them to their cars. My car is parked all the way at the opposite side of the shopping mall. So I have to go back upstairs, walk in the shopping mall to the opposite wing, then go back down the escalator into the parking lot alone. The escalator brings me to the lower basement, and the auto door slides open. I step out into the empty parking lot. The parking lot is dimly lit, only with a few LED lights on the ceiling thinly spread apart. This is also a new shopping mall in a small town, and there is no security guard appointed here yet. The dark parking lot reminds me of the backroom's urban legend. The emptiness and absence of people and cars give off a creepy, liminal spaces kind of vibe. I set foot into the dimly lit parking lot and start walking to my car. We arrived at the mall at peak hour when the parking lot was fully packed. So my car is tucked away in the very corner of the parking lot, and I cannot see it from the basement entrance. The parking lot during midnight is very, very quiet. My footsteps echo in the parking lot. I am still a little bit dizzy from the drink, and I walk with my slightly unsteady pace. Yes, I know drinking and driving is bad. Forgive me for being the bad college student I am. Suddenly, I think I heard something behind me. Due to my drunken state, I am not sure what it is that I hear. It sounds like something abrupt, not too loud, but it definitely raises my guard. I stopped my movement for a moment and listened intently. Nothing, just my unsteady breathing. Then I continued to walk directly to my car, focusing on the corner where I parked it. I walked in that direction. Then I heard it again, the sound. It was a distinct set of footsteps behind me. I turned around and saw a figure quickly tucked behind the car park's pillar. "Who is it?" I voiced out. No answers. Oh no, I have been followed. I thought, although I am drunk, I can clearly see it is not my imagination. I turned around and started walking in the direction of my car. I can already see my car, approximately 300 meters away, tucked away in the obscure corner. As I am walking, I heard the footsteps behind me. Judging from the volume of the footsteps, it is quite far. I can't tell how far exactly, but it is around 100 to 200 meters away. I started walking faster, and to my horror, the set of footsteps behind me did the same thing. My adrenaline kicked in, and I started sprinting to my car. Now, I definitely heard steel boots slamming on the floor behind me. Someone is definitely chasing me and gaining on me. Although I am a tall guy by Asian standards and workout, standing at 179 centimeters tall with quite a big frame, given my current drunken state, I cannot outrun this person, and I am almost out of breath. Whoever it is, I decided I would turn my head and see who it is, just as the footsteps are gaining on me, approximately just 10 meters away. I turned my head around to look behind. The person chasing me is a huge, tall man, even taller and bigger than me, wearing a motorcycle helmet, a full black jacket, black gloves, black jeans, and a set of work boots, charging towards me. I am horrified. I turned around, focused on my car, took out my car keys, and sprinted full speed towards my car. I had never run so fast in my life before. The man behind me is definitely faster and gaining on me. I'm almost out of breath, entertaining the thought of confronting him. I turn my head for another look, only to see him wielding a 5-inch long knife. Forget that. I muster all my strength and run towards my car. Finally, I reach it. I press the remote before getting there, open the car door, jump in, lock the car immediately as a reflex. What follows is the man bashing on the window with his right hand holding a knife. He's trying to break in, slamming his elbow hard into the side window. I immediately reverse the car, bumping the man onto the floor, and drive out of the parking lot at full speed, leaving him behind. This is the scariest thing I've ever experienced. If only I had locked the car door a second later, the man could have gotten in, and who knows what he would have done. I filed a police report after the incident, but the shopping mall parking lot surveillance camera couldn't pick up the man's face as he was wearing a helmet. So the police couldn't identify him. I will never forget this incident. Anyways, the moral of the story is, always be wary of your surroundings. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. We could all fall victim to opportunistic criminals. I got lucky that day. My habit of keeping my car key in an easily accessible pocket and locking the car door as a reflex saved me that day. One day after my classes, I practiced basketball with my college mates. We were preparing for a competition coming up in a month, so we practiced until late at night. After the training, we had supper, and following that, we each went home separately. When I reached home, it was around 1 o'clock in the morning. I live in a landed house, and opposite my house is an apartment. The apartment doesn't have a parking lot, so the tenants there like to park on the roadside outside our house area. As I got back home by driving, most of the parking spaces had been taken. I managed to find parking, but it was further away. This left me no choice but to take a 5-minute walk to my home. It was silent and calm, with 2 rows of cars parked on the side and road lights on both sides of the road. Refreshing cold air blew in my direction, and I walked at a relaxing pace, organizing my thoughts from the training earlier. Suddenly, I noticed a person walking in front of me. She is a middle-aged lady. I didn't think much of it since sometimes people work overtime and have to come home late, park their cars here, and walk the same path to their apartment. On second thought, something seemed off. Usually, people who work until late at night carry their working bags while walking home. However, this lady was strolling in the middle of the street in her pajamas without holding anything. But oh well, what did it have to do with me? I continued to walk. The lady in front of me moved with a very slow pace, so I was getting closer to her every second. When I was around 5 meters behind her, she suddenly stopped and turned around. Startled by her sudden movement, I stopped behind her too. She stared at me and gave me a creepy smile. Her abrupt stop made me uncomfortable, but I thought maybe she considered me some kind of stalker and felt uneasy. So I spoke up. "Hi, how can I help you? I'm also walking home." She continued to stare at me without any reply, maintaining a creepy smile on her face. You know that kind of smile? Only the mouth smiles. The eyes don't, just wide open. Our eyes locked for a few seconds, and I spoke again. "Miss, anything I can help you?" Suddenly, she turned her body slightly away from me without turning her head and started crab walking to a car on the right side of the road. She crab walked while maintaining eye contact with me, which definitely creeped me out. After she reached the car, she walked behind it and squatted down, continuing to stare at me from behind the car's side windows. Now, she is on my right side, in front of me, behind a car. She is unpredictable and my gut feeling tells me to keep an eye on her. I turn my body to face her, crab walking while maintaining eye contact. As I walk past her, she moves her head to keep track of my movements. Then suddenly, she stands up from behind the car and starts walking, slowly following me. My home is just about 100 meters away. I crab walk sideways, maintaining my eyesight on this disturbed woman. I shouted at her, "What do you want?" Without reply or without warning, the woman suddenly sprints towards me. Although she looks frail, but she is running pretty fast. Shocked, I turn my back to her and immediately sprint full speed to my home. Fortunately, I am faster. I gain some distance and hop into the front gate without unlocking it. I turn back to see the woman running outside of my house. Suddenly, she slows down, walks behind a car, then does the same thing again. Squats down, peering at me from behind the car window, all while maintaining her creepy smile. This woman deeply unsettles me. I rush into my home and wake up my parents. The lady is still there, and we call the police. The police soon arrive and subdue the woman. To my horror, they find out she has a small box cutter in her pocket. After some investigation, the police reveal that she is a patient from a mental asylum who escaped the facility. This reminds me of the Serbian lady videos that are circulating online lately, which scares me. If I were not an athletic person, I would not have been able to outrun her. If she had caught me, would she have stabbed me? Or would she have harmed me in other unimaginable ways? This experience sticks with me until today. After the incidents, I always go home before midnight, where there are still people walking around. I will never see the street outside my home the same way again.